a phobia about eating, and I think that was one of the things which was his downfall, you know.
Oh, interesting.
Oh yeah, he
like an anorexia.
He was sort of anorexic, yes. I would say he was anorexic. He ate hardly anything. And, you know, and a lot of these students went on that diet, you know, and a couple of them got really sick from it because they just were not getting enough nutrition. But as I understand it, after I left there, and I still have friends going there, like Roger Field, I think he was there a year longer than I was, that, you know, he even cut down more on what he was eating at that time.
Interesting stuff.
He was a great guy. I got to tell you, he was a terrific guy. He was a great headmaster. You know, we had the ranking system. I don't know whether or not they still have that, but you know, you started out as a sweater, and then you went to a senior badge, and then you went to a brevet, and then a special, I think it was a specialist, and then a prefect.
Interesting terminology. They changed it slightly in my day. They've now eliminated the whole system. There are no ranks.
And what was interesting about it, Steve, was you had to be a brevet to use the front door.
Oh, how funny.
If you were a sweater or a senior badge, then you had to go use the back door.
You know, why not? You know, it's like these little tiny roles. I once heard a student, let's see, a house captain came to the house master and said, you know, I'm a little concerned about, you know, Helena, XYZ. She has not broken one rule during the, you know, past 3 months. She's a new girl and she's fitting in fine, but she's perfect. There's something wrong, and you know, and that got JC's attention because it was particularly important for there to be some sort of broken rule. You know, in other words, there was some sort of restriction so that every rule had a reason, and the idea was to help students learn how to confront authority.
Well, that's funny because, you know, if anybody broke all the rules, it was me.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, I was unbelievable. I mean, I had so many pencils, I didn't know what to do with them. I don't know if they had pencils when you were there. You used to have to write 50 words out of a history book for every pencil you got. And I used to get so many pencils, I just had them stacked up. And then I had so many pencils, I decided that they were going to make me run them off. And so we ran from D-Lar down to and trying to think the town, you know, not going towards Chazier, but the other direction, way down. And I was an avid runner. I mean, it didn't bother me at all. And being the wise guy that I was back when I was that age, was then I'd turn around and, you know, I got back, you know, I made us get like 4 o'clock in the morning to do it. When I got back, I turned around and did it again. And, you know, just to show off the principle. So, you know, I was a real pirate. There was no question about it.
Well,
but I think probably the reason that I was that way is because I've been in boarding school so long that I just figured out the whole system, and you know, and I always figured out how to get my own way. So, but I would love to write you about all that stuff.
Oh, that is fabulous. Now, you know, I'm sure some of the stuff I'm going to be able to pick your brain on. One of the things I like to do is record the conversation so then I can share it with other alumni. We've started something called, we called something like the JC Society, and the idea is, I'll send you the website. Our concept is to promulgate and inform every person on the planet that there was this guy JC, that he did have this speech, and we'd like everybody to read it and be inspired in some way to, you know, react to it, or, you know, yeah, maybe it was elitist or whatever you want to call it, but perhaps educators will be inspired by it to alter the way they treat students.
Absolutely. he treated all the students very, very well. I mean, he really did. He was just one of those people that you could rely on him for just about everything.
That's fabulous.
I mean, he was super, super involved. I mean, he was involved in everything because, like I say, there was only 60 students when I went to school there, and he knew every student very, very well. And he knew all their idiosyncrasies and all their tendencies, and, you know, he used to get mad at me. Guy hated history. And, you know, he called me in his office one day and told me, he says, you know, I want you to pick up your grades in history. And so I did. I sat down and really worked on it. And he called me into his office and congratulated me and a whole bunch of things. I mean, he took every student at that time under his wing. It wasn't like he acted like a headmaster. He acted like, you know, a good friend to all the students.
Yeah, now, see, this is the sort of thing that makes more sense when you're reforming and improving schools than having some sort of blanket rule. Well, we must standardize the curriculum. We must have standardized tests. We must. And, you know, a lot of it comes down to get to know the student.
Absolutely. And, you know, I probably learned more at that school than any other school I had ever gone to. I mean, there were so many things that you learned at Eglon College that were not in the classroom. You know, just to give you an example, we used to climb for 3 days up, you know, with sealskins on the bottom of our skis, and we stayed in these little huts on the way up. And then on the fourth day, you would ski down, and you'd be in this beautiful Persian snow, and it was just great. But the first year I did that, all I did was bitch and complain all the way up. I mean, I'm sitting there going, man, I don't want to be doing this, blah, blah, blah. And so, you know, they gave you a grade at the end. I mean, obviously I flunked. And then the year after that, you know, JC called me in the office and he said, you know, I want to see a better, I want to see something better out of you than what happened last year. And so I said, well, I'll try. And, you know, I took a whole different attitude, and it really changed my life quite a bit because I ended up getting a 10 on that. And then, you know, we had these sports day things, and he had me so encouraged that, you know, I was down at the bottom of Bay, and, you know, we all took this 3-day bicycle where you could go anywhere you wanted on your bicycle for 3 days, and they gave you so much money, and you had to exist, you know, and pay for your food and figure out what you were going to do. And we got to Bay, and, you know, we were waiting to take the tram up, and I said, you know, I'm just going to bicycle it up. And so I went up the road. I went back, just took the road all the way up, and you know, he called me in the office and congratulated me on that too. So he was a hands-on principal at that time.
Right.